I'm like back again, I guess. This time I'm not gonna jerk. I'm just gonna sit here and talk. But like, yeah. I don't even know what to talk about. I just got on here to get on here. So, I guess I'm just gonna shout a lot of people out. Shout out to Mariah. And by Mariah, I mean the one that moved to Kenwood or whatever. I don't know her last name. Shout out to Damon. Shout out to Tony. Shout out to Ronnie. Shout out to Chelsea. Shout out to Tamra. Shout out to Jessica. She should have been the first. Shout out to Ashton. Shout out to Aaron. Marty. Caitlin. The other Caitlin with Borda. Shout out to DeMarcus. Alyssa Morales. Shout out to everybody who's in the jerking movement. New Boys. Jink. The LOL kids. All of them. Shout out to Devon. Hold on. Shout out to LaQuisha. Shout out to Amy Hilliker, whatever. Shout out to Mariah Cox. Shout out to James Inslee. Shout out to Marla. Shout out to Justine. Shout out to Becky. Shout out to Kendra. Shout out to Brianna. Shout out to Emily. Shout out to Amanda. Shout out to Brandon, Beastly Brandon. Shout out to Sarah Hughes. I don't even know. Oh, shout out to the Indictive Jerkers. Of course you know that's me. But shout out to my partner. Shout out to Callie. Shout out to Cheyenne, the one in the 8th grade. Shout out to Brooklyn. Shout out to Aaron and Victoria. Shout out to Shayna and Montavious. I know this is a lot of shout outs. You already know. That just proves I know a lot of people. Shout out to Jerry. Shout out to Rachel. Shout out to Austin Knight. Shout out to Chris Jackson. Kelsey Vance. Shout out to Lily Lewis. Shout out to them Crucial Creations. I'm waiting on their video. Shout out to Jahilia. I say Jahilia. Shout out to Fantasia. Shout out to Antonio Grooms. Shout out to Drake Hawkins. Shout out to Juan. Shout out to Aisha. Shout out to Tremont and Justin Phillips. Shout out to Barbara. Shout out to Sheridan. Shout out to Kayla. Shout out to Taylor. Shout out to Sarah and Mariah, the one that moved to Mexico. Shout out to Nikki King. Shout out to David. Shout out to Tyler. Shout out to Reed and his family. Shout out to Caitlin. I don't even know her last name. The one that went out with Austin Knight. Shout out to Sarah. Shout out to Shanae, I guess. Shout out to Shanae Campbell. Shout out to Madison Gray. Shout out to Monica. Shout out to Tyrus. Shout out to Ashley. Shout out to Destiny. And Brandon Lowe and Alyssa Garber. Shout out to my sister, Sissy T-Baby. Shout out to Sean. Shout out to Corey Williams. Shout out to Andrea. Anybody I missed? I don't even know. I guess that read. Shout out to all Z's friends and her homies, whatever. Shout out to Daryl. Shout out to Hope and Quentin. Shout out to Mary and Markeisha. I don't know if I said her name already. Shout out to Montavious' girlfriend, Prisa. Well, you said her name. I don't even know. Shout out to Autumn Burns. Shout out to Paramore and Whitney Brooks. Shout out to Chris Jackson, Chris Godsey. Shout out to, I don't even know, but those most of the people I know. I know more, but I just don't feel like it. Anyways, let's get to the facts. Some people, they think that that's a gang sign. That is not a gang sign. You could look up them Rangers or the PR Rangers, not them P Rangers, Sheridan, but you could look them up and you'll see them throw that up every day, every time. Like, they're gonna make a diss video against, two diss songs against Jink Entertainment, my all-time favorite jerking group. So I don't like them. They're some a-holes. But a lot of people think this is a gang sign. It's not. And mostly they think that is. It's just saying that I dislike them Rangers. So you can get that out your mind right now. Well, I'm about to bounce. Peace.